Hi, it's Wendy again from Handmade by WD. Do another process video. I'm still trying to decide how to decorate those Easel mini albums. Seems like I can get them done, but then when it comes to decorating them, I have a little hard time. I have an idea for them. It's just sitting down with the items that I think I'm going to use and put them together. If you watched my big haul video, I mentioned that I had purchased the envelope punch board, the flower punch board. I also picked up the gift box punch board, and a couple days ago I got the gift bag one. And I am going to use the envelope punch board to make them, well, it won't be a mini album. It won't be a mini album. This is going to kind of be a tribute one. I lost on my dad's side, we lost his oldest sister the Labor Day weekend 2000. Then in April of 2001, we lost my dad. Then, trying to think, then his brother Johnny went, and then his sister Barb, and he only has one sister left, and that's my Aunt Laurel. And she's going into hospice at home, and basically she's the closest one to me in age. She's only about 15 years older than I am. She used to babysit me when I was little. My sister Yvette was in her wedding. And I live near her now. So, and I like to say she is my favorite aunt. Her and my Aunt Jeannie, I really got along with. My Aunt Jeannie was like a second mother to me, and that was my dad's oldest sister. And it was really kind of funny because every time I think about calling Mom, either Aunt Jeannie would call first and then Mom, or Mom would call first and then Aunt Jeannie. So they would both call me. When I thought about calling Mom, I kind of miss that now. And Aunt Laura was always like an older sister, because I'm the oldest of 4 girls. So it was kind of nice having her, because it seemed like she was an older sister to me. So I am going to take and try and make a tribute album for her, and it is going to be a large one. I've already decided that height-wise it's probably going to be about 9 or 10 inches. Width-wise it's probably going to be about 8. I think I'll do 8 by 10. It's going on black cardstock, and the papers that I'm using is by Die Cuts with a View. It's called the Coral Couture Stack. And one reason why, one thing, it is gorgeous paper, but there was some things in here that really appealed to me. Let me show you what I mean. It was like this page here, and you got the flowers here, and you have this memories. But there was also all these cutouts. They say like love, live, laugh, love. Home is Where the Heart Is, Cherish, One of a Kind, Dreams Do Come True, Family, and I have 2 pages of that. So it was a choice between about 5 or 6 different paper stacks. I did look at Wallflowers by I can't think of his name. French, he does French paper. Oh, whatever. You know who I'm talking about. And that I'm thinking this would be my front, simply because it incorporates all the colors and all the patterns. And I'm not even making my spine yet because I don't know how big it's going to be, because I've been thinking about my design for my pages. Now I might make the back this one here just so it's plain. Or use this for the inside. I'm not sure yet. So because I'm going to take out both of these, because I'll either use one for the back, or I'll use them both for the inside. I'm thinking about the inside would be a good place for that. And I think I'll use this for the back. There we go. So there's my front, my back, and my insides. So I'll set those aside. To make my pages, I will be using the Black Cat paper stack. This, get it from Joann's. For one thing, it's Solicord dyed, so I don't have to worry about inking the edges on this. I will probably ink the edges on the papers I use. And it's going to end up probably being a heavy book because these are not lightweight. They're almost lightweight cardstock. So it's not paper, it's lightweight cardstock. So I'll be using that. And I have an extra pack of it if I need it. And also something, what is this? This is called Midnight, but this is canvas textured, so this is my backup if I need it. If I don't get out to get more of the Black Cat, but I think tomorrow I've got to run a couple errands, and I'll go by and pick up another pack or 2. Besides that, there's a kolache place down by Joann's there I want to try out. I gotta look up kolache. I think I know what they are. They're like Danishes, I think. Either that or they're fruit or meat pies, depending on how you make them. I'm also going to use my envelope punch and try it out because the pages I'm making are going to be a file type. I've seen this done and I couldn't find the tutorial, so actually it's a combination of a couple different ones. There's Dawn's Inspiration. She does a lot of file folder tutorials. So I'm getting stuff from her, let's see, Scraps, Buttons, and Bows. Hers. I'm trying to think of who else. There's a couple other ones, and I can't think of them. So what we're going to do, I'm going to cut enough for 6 pages. I may not put that many in. I was working on a special project. I've got a special project. It's a build project. There's 2 parts to it. I got 1 part, or 3 parts. I got 2 parts built. So like I said, it's going to be 10 by 8. So this is going to be a big album. It's probably the biggest album I've built to date. And it'll probably be a very chunky album. Cut that right. That's the front page. That's the alpha page. For the back, so it's going to be this way. So 10 inches by 8. Somewhere I have a white gel pen. I'll have to locate it. Hold on a minute, I think I know where it is. The paint marker. Okay. I'm reorganizing my craft room, and to get us started. That's a little tip from Christina Warner. So this is my A page. Mittens, hi! You come by for a drive-through visit? Mama's busy right now. You looking for treats? Down here. Good girl. Yes, I got your treats right here. Yes. You're being a good girl. There you go. Don't you love a cat that listens? Alright. So that's going to be a 10 by 8. And that is my actual page size before I cut. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah. Alright. So this one is also going to be, this one's going to be a little bit longer. No, this is also going to be 10 high. Gotta think here for a minute. But I'm going to make it 8.5 because, like I said, this is going to be a file folder type, and I want to be able to accommodate the tabs. Maybe I should do that one. We'll see how this first one goes. I may change the measurements. We'll put the first one together. and see how it goes. Now, the other thing I need is a binding strip. And the neat thing about doing it this way is I can get my 10 high one. How wide is this? Start with the 2 inch. That's perfect. I can cut it down if I need to. And I'm going to do that at 10. So this is my binding for my file folder. And it's 10 inches. I'm trying to think. We're going to start with 2 inches. It may go down. I think 2 inches would be perfect for what I have planned. Get out my stylus. Now, I go half an inch. I'll go down this way. So we're going to start with half an inch scores. Because this is 2 inches, you know 1 inch is the middle. Go to, on one side, score at half an inch and 1.5 inches. Flip it. You saw how I did that. I did half an inch, 1.5 inch, turned it this way, and score at 1 inch. There is a reason for that. Then you're going to burnish these. And she's looking out her window. Like that. So you do the half, in the middle first, then fold these up. Or you could do it however you want. The goal is to obtain you can either call it a W, oops, I folded that the wrong way, or an M. Make sure your 2 outer ones face the same way. You do your 2 outer ones as valley folds and your middle one as a mountain. Yeah, I think I like that. So you're going to end up basically, it's either, you can either call it a W or an M, whatever. You know, it's a weird looking Z fold too. But yeah, because these 2 wings here are going to attach to the paper. This is what's going to attach to your hinge, and that gives you an option, because I'm going to do some extra pockets in each file folder. Like I can just leave it like this, I can do an extra pocket here, or I can cut it into thirds or half. So we got that. Now, get out your board. Taking your 8.5, excuse me, by 10. You want to go in, trying to think of how big. And now here's the thing, your tabs can be any size you want. Since I've got 6 and I've got 10 inches here to play with, remember this is going to be our practice one anyways, but if it turns out good, I'll use it. You have to figure you got 10 inches. If you staggered them an inch, you get down to 6 inches. Okay, so that leaves you with 4. put it this way. Where's my pen? Where's my pencil? That's a pen, but that'll work. I am going to try and put 6 in there. I'm going to see how big this turns out, and then once I get this figured out, then I can know. But if I am going to do the whole 6 inches, if I do an inch each, that takes away 6, so that leaves 4 inches. And 4 goes into 6, 1.5. But if you take the 10 and divide it by 6, 1, that leaves you 4. Yes, I'm trying to do math here. 6, like 1.66. So, when you're looking at your score board, if you do it like 1 5/8, so like on this one, I'd start my first tab if I was going to do all 6. I would actually start it at 2 and then move it down 3/8 of an inch. That's what I was going to say. We'll see how that works. Okay. Now all I did was I moved this to 2, put my paper in punch. Now I'm moving my paper so that if you watch Crazy for Dolly, and Scraps, Buttons, and Bows, they do an excellent tutorial on how to do this. But all I'm doing is I'm lining that edge up with the end of the metal, and then I'll punch. And what that will create is my edge here. I've done it right. See? I got a tab. I made a tab. I'm so happy. And then I'll leave this here. So for this one, you know what? I'm not even going to cut. I am not even going to worry about cutting that down. That looks good to me. I mean, because here's my tab. Here's the edge of this paper. All I'm going to do is I might want to cut this one a little bigger. Actually, I'll leave it like that. Let me cut that and see how it looks. All I am doing is I am going to line that up. And it ends up being about 5/8 of an inch. And I can't cut a straight line to save myself. Okay. Alright, so if I line this up I have a little edge here, which if you didn't want, you could actually, if you did not want extra paper on your bee, just cut this about a 1/4 inch taller. So make this 8 1/4. But I like this, so I'm just going to cut my corners, and we'll hinge it together and see how it looks. So again, I'm going in. You see, there's all kinds of ways to make these. I was on a Ustream video, and she was making a photo box. I thought, cool, you know, because I had earlier in the week seen Gentleman Jim make a photo box, and I liked his design. I wanted to see how she approached it. And someone got on there and where it was a little tipped, I think you could say, excuse me, or started saying it looked awfully familiar to a couple of her patterns that she has copyright to. And all I could think of is, you know, we all have different ways of doing it, and just because you came up with it doesn't mean that someone else didn't come up with it. So you might not necessarily have been the only one to have. So now I'm going to prep this binding with my 3/8 inch tape on the wings. I'm going to do a little something different here in this one. On the end, well, no, I need to do 3/8 inch. There it is. I've got an order of 3/8 inch coming in. I might buy a couple more rolls while I'm there. Maybe I'll order some more. And the reason why I'm doing all this now is because, like I said, this is my test one to see if I like the finished product. And I always do a test one. I think no matter who you are, you should do a test one, because how are you going to know if it works if you don't? If you just go in and do it, and you know, it could end up where you don't like it. So I'm gonna burnish all these. Now comes the hard part. So taking your W, now you want it to where your mountain fold is in the middle. Take off. Now this is the way I do it. I take off a little bit so I can tack it. Make sure I've got it right where I want it. It doesn't matter which side you do it on. Usually if you do it on the, you know, see how this is the open edge, and I'm pressing this down this way, and this is how I found it easiest for me to do it. And then you just line it up. Okay. When I get one side done, then I go over to the other side. This is for those of you who have issues like that. Try this. It's what works for me, and this way I can make sure that my ends match up. And if I have these done right, then all I have to do is grab the tape This is what I do from both ends. Pull it, lay it down, and I have a perfectly matched edge. In case you're wondering, I have a little drink cup here for all my little tape ends. Now, to attach the other page, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take a little bit of one end, expose it, and I do work one side at a time. Oops, that's gonna... I just sent out my first happy mail. I am so happy. And make sure you, because I'm working on black, I gotta make sure I have a good strong light. Alright, so that one matches. So I go down to the other end. And there is a reason why I'm being a little more finicky on this one, is because of who it's for. And you see, I only have that little edge to worry about. Sometimes helps if I hold it to where I'm working on my left side for some strange reason. Okay, so got that. I go in, pull my little tabs, and there we go. So you see, this one is ready. I've got my binding strips on so that it's all ready to go. I'm going to stop right here for a few minutes and cut the rest of my papers, because I like this, and the rest of my binding strips, and get them all taped, and then I'll be back, okay? So I'll see you in a few minutes.